All right, good afternoon, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 12th day of August, 2026. So here's my schedule, my agenda for today's webinar. I'm going to show you this. It's not really done anything yet because none of the ones that have been pulled had earnings. But we did have a couple last week, and this was something that was suggested to me by one of our subscribers from a long way away, but a long-time subscriber as well. And he suggested putting an earnings check on it so that you guys can see if earnings are due after the close or before the open. Well, he just said after the close, but I did after the close or before the open. So I added that to the poll. Potential new group, the daily instead of the FOMC. Well, in addition to the FOMC, I started a daily group, which is really going to be a group that you would just day trade. You'd open it up at 9 o'clock in the morning, and if you got any signals at 9 o'clock in the morning, you figure you get into them at 9 and be out of them by the end of the day. More volume analysis stuff that I'm going to show you. Last week it struck me last week that it seemed really complicated, and I wasn't able to take that many trades because I was filtering a whole bunch of them out. So I wanted to change that a little bit coming into this week, and I think you guys will like it, and I think it just makes sense. And the FOMC group, the success review, it was great up until today. Up until today, it was fantastic. Every day over 100% until today. Now it's down 200% today. But it is what it is. Not every day is going to be perfect. All right, so let's get right into it. Okay, that was my agenda. Now, if anybody has any questions, type them into the question box, and I will get to them as quickly as I can. I will answer every question, so just type them in. Okay, now we have some things ready here for trading. Okay, let me just show you what we got going on. I have two volume tools right here, right? One of them, not that one. The other one, this one, is the one that's looking at the larger time frame volume. Now it says 6 minutes in between, so we're going to make this a little bit bigger, make it to 10 minutes, I guess. Now I could just, actually, let me add in a different one in here. If we add custom interval, and we'll add like a 8-minute. I don't think I have an 8-minute one. Okay, so now I can go in here and add that one to be 8 minutes. There. Okay, just a little bigger than 6 minutes. And the other one that I have in here is just set to the chart. All right, so I'm looking at volume from an 8-minute and volume for the current chart. All right, and this one here is at 10 minutes for the last 3 bars. So I don't think I have it. Well, let's just look and see. Nope, it's not that one. It's going to be the other one. This one. Well, before I do that, let me just check this box so you can actually see it a little better. Oops, this box right there. Okay, and we'll go to the other one. And if it's at 10 minutes, then we want to change this to be about probably 15 minutes. Okay. That's going to make everything pretty much black on the bigger picture. But what I'm looking for here is basically what just happened right here. You see the white line right there? That white line and this white line? They're the 0 line. So what I want to see is price pull away above the 0 line when both the long and short term, the long and current term or short term volume are in the opposite direction. Okay, that's what I'm looking for. This right here, you would just sell the open of the next bar. It's got to get out of the channel, but right here you just sell the open of the next bar. Right here you would sell the open of the next bar. Now right here you see it's mixed. The black's on one side, the blue's on the other, so you don't do anything. Right here you'd sell the open of the next bar. Right here you'd sell the open of the next bar. Right here, this is the first one that didn't work. Right here you'd sell the open of the next bar, and that one didn't work out. You can just go through and you can see all these. They happen again and again and again. And this is the NQ39 range, so you can change it around to be whatever time frame you want it to be. But over here on the S7 range, right here you'd sell the open of the next bar. Right here you'd sell the open of the next bar. Right here you'd sell the open of the next bar. This one didn't really come from the middle. I like it to come from the middle, but this one worked as well. You'd sell the open of the next bar. And flip it around. Did we have any there? No, we didn't. Not there. See, going back like this, because all this, the 10-minute doesn't necessarily apply as well to all this. So in real time, it's going to look a little bit different. But what you'd be looking for is for everything to be above it, like this right here. You'd sell the open of the next bar on all those elements. Not this, I meant buy the open of the next bar. Right here, you'd buy the open of the next bar. Right here, you'd sell the open of the next bar. You guys see what I'm talking about? It's a pretty simple thing to see and do. It's easier than trying to match up all the colors and make sure the thing crosses through the step line within the channel and all that. This is just a really simple setup that you can see and do. No, you don't see. Whoa, you're not getting this. Can I show what I'm looking at with the two volumes? Okay, let me slow it down. This right here, I am going to sell right now on the NQ. All right, sell the open of the next bar. What you want to see is the black and the red below the zero while it pulls out of the channel on the top side. So I just sold the open of the next bar right there. Okay, this is on the NQ 39 range. And so that's pretty much it. So when this goes 4 points into profit, it's going to bump my stop to plus 10 ticks. And it should get right down into all this stuff down here. That'll be 4 points. So we should get at least, well, it should bump it to 10 ticks. Now, out of all the trades that I took on the NQ this morning, I think I took 10 of them. Only one of them actually gave me the 10 ticks. You know, the ones that went much more, but a lot of them that went to the point where it would bump it did not give me the full 10 ticks. It should go down here and hit this right here. It's just got to get down to 8 right here to bump the stop. And it should do that. This over here was, well, hang on. It's about to trigger it right here. One more. Get down there. I'm willing it. It's almost going. Anyway, do you see it, Mark? This is what I'm looking for. See, both the short-term and long-term volume are below zero, and the synthetic divergence pulled out of the channel in the opposite direction, suggesting that this is a short-term pullback against where all the volume is. Okay, that's what it's telling you right there. It's just a short-term pullback against where all the volume is. Now that came within 1 tick of getting me to break even or better, and the entry should have been at 12. I got the exact right entry on that, so well, it almost gave it to us. It's not over yet, but it's got a 36 tick stop, so I think it should have actually triggered it right there. It came really close. If the low of that, and my thing's not working. Oh, it's working now. It wasn't working all morning. Was it just a timing thing? It had a low of 825. It was 1 tick away from actually bumping my stop. Well, we'll see what happens with that. But that's it. That's all there is to it. You know, you're not looking at all the other stuff. I think it just stopped me out. It did just stop me out. Okay, so we're going to start out with a stop out in today's session. Okay, and that's okay. We'll get it back. I'm not worried about it. Here, I can just leave my DOM up here. And the ES doesn't have anything triggered yet. Okay, I'm going to slide it off to the side because it's just easier for me. Do you understand it, Mark? All I'm looking for is this right here. This right here. This right here. It was 1 tick away from getting me to plus 10 ticks on that. That's too bad. So right now you see how the volume just switched? It's got the longer term volume down here and the short term volume up here. So we'll just wait. Okay. And the ES over here, we got to let it do its thing. It's, you know, right now both of them are below zero, both the short and long term volume below zero. This is at 840 now, so we might be able to bump it to a little bit different time. This is at 650. So, you know, the longer time frames on these were both pretty long. Oops, not that one. The longer time frames on these, it's 15 minutes and each bar is 650. So let's bump this down to 10. Okay, so it's a little more reactive. And this one is 850, so we're going to leave that one alone for right now. 840. Okay. Do you understand? I just want to make sure everybody gets it. Now, if I go here and I open up one of these, and I go here and open up one of these, not this one, but if I go to, well, let's just do the FOMC. Okay, the FOMC's got a whole bunch of signals, or it did earlier have a whole bunch of signals coming into tomorrow. You do nothing when you see black. Let me go back and show you in just a minute, okay? So you see right here, it's got an earnings column. If it doesn't have anything in the earnings column, you don't have to worry about earnings. But if it does have something in the earnings column, then after the close, it's either going to be after the close or before the open, you're going to have earnings. So you may or may not want to trade those. If the earnings are what, it could go either way significantly. Just so you know, your max risk, if there's earnings, your max risk is going to be what you pay for the option. But you could put your target, make it a bigger target. Make it a bigger target, because if the earnings are going to affect it and it's going to go the right way, then you should have a couple 100% would probably be a decent target for that. So I added that in. That was, I think Gary asked me to do that. Anyway, that was a new feature, okay, and it's in here. Now, you guys, what I'm gonna do is when I give you the picks at the end of the day, if it's got earnings, I'm gonna have it highlight the symbol. It'll make it red, I think, is what I'm gonna make it do. The symbol will be red if it's got earnings instead of black. Right now they're all black. Okay. All right. So if you see just black, like let's go here, for instance, like right in here. Right in here. There's the blue is underneath that. The red is underneath that. I like to be able to see a little bit of the red and a little bit of the red and a little bit of the black. Like, the black's not taking up the whole bottom side. But if it's just black, then the red is there with it. So you can sell the open to the next bar. Okay. There'll be cases, right now it's the way that it's set right now. It's kind of hard to go back and check this stuff out, because it's, you got to switch it around a little bit based upon what the volatility is like at that moment in time. But like right here, you see how it's mixed? The blue is above, the black is below the 0. So we're not going to do anything right here. Okay, we'll just leave it alone. And does it matter if your entry is trend continuation or counter trend? It could go either way, Ronnie. You go with the volume, and there's going to be times where there's no trend at all, like right through here, where there's no trend at all. But you would have had a short there, you would have had a short there, you would have had a short there. All those would have worked out just fine. You would have had a short right over here, right there. You would have had a short right here, right there. See this one right here? You would have sold the open of that bar. You would have sold the open of that bar. You would have sold the open of that bar. Okay. You see what I mean, Ronnie? I'm just trying to simplify it. Because what we're doing last week, we had the other trend on there, right? Can I go over how to pick the settings? Sure, Larry. Let's just take these off, okay? We'll just take these off and start from scratch. Okay. So what you have to do, first thing you have to do is put on the range trigger. Okay, so you just put your range trigger on there, down there at the bottom. And then inside your range trigger, you're going to go here and do this 15987 is what the password is right now. Check synthetic divergence line. See how you have the step line automatically shows up in there? You don't need that step line. Okay, so you can go over here and delete the step line. Just undo the div step right there. And then if you want that to be thicker like I have it, just come up here with synthetic divergence line and make it thicker like that. Okay, that's all you need to do with the range trigger. Okay, the range trigger stuff is done. Now, add a volume, add 2 volumes, add 2 volumes, just like that. Okay, so come to the first volume and leave the area like this. This is all being recorded, so you'll be able to go back and check this out. Okay, but leave the area colors like that and go to inputs and put this on chart. All right, so this is your current volume. check this box. 3 bars is fine. Check that box and leave it at 3 bars. Okay. Now it's 4 minutes and 57 seconds. Go to the other volume like this. If it's 4 minutes and 57 seconds, you want this one to be greater than the 4 minutes and 57 seconds. So we'll say 5 minutes, okay? And then come in here to style and change these. I use black. You don't have to use black. You could use white or something other than blue and red. Okay, change your area like that. Okay, you do show combined time. It's going to be the same as the other one. And then say OK. And now click that and go move to existing pane above. And then come to this one and do move to existing pane below. And then you have it all on top of each other like that. All right. Now, I put a 0 line on there manually. All right. I could actually have the 0 line in there, but when it gets in here like this, you can't tell if one's above and one's below 0, and it's kind of, it's kind of hard to do. So what I do is I just go down here and grab the 0. Grab the horizontal line down here like that and stick it on there just like that. And then just open it up, and you can make that whatever color you want it to be. Coordinates, I'm going to put it at 0. Okay, so now you can see. See a little bit of white if they're both above it. You see a little bit of white if they're both below it. If they're split, you don't see any white. Okay, so all we're looking for in here is this right here. You want the red and the black to be on one side, and the synthetic divergence to come out of the channel. You can go just to the edge of the channel like that or like that to come out of the channel. It doesn't have to go all the way to the overbought or oversold. Just come out of the channel opposite of where the 2 volumes are. Okay, I'm just trying to simplify it, make it easier and easier for you guys. That's all you have to do. Now I'm going to save this volume template right here, this volume layout, and I'm going to copy it and stick it out here for you guys. So you can all copy that right now if you want. I hit send to all on that. You can all copy that right now if you want to. All right, and start using it right now if you want to. Okay. Okay. So you see, you couldn't see any white right there. So the black was below and the blue was above. So that wasn't exactly right. The S over here is looking a little better though. See, they're both below right there. So, ideally you could short that right here. And I don't know if it went 4 ticks into profit already. It had 80 1/4 down to 79.55. So no, it didn't go 4 ticks into profit yet. Okay, so you can short it. Here it is. All right, and we'll see where that goes. Right now, just bump my stop to break even. Okay, and now we'll move it down to, trying to move it down. Why will it not let me move it? There. All right, now move it down to 2 ticks. Okay, I don't know what happened with my bracket right there. Oops, I know what happened. I know what happened. I put it on the YM instead of the ES. That's what happened with my bracket. Okay, well, that'll screw me up. All right, well, I got 2 ticks locked in on the YM. All right, that's not exactly what I meant to do. Thank you, John. Thank you. And Jim. John and Jim, you both caught me on that. And I caught myself too. I was wondering why the bracket wasn't working. But we now have 2 ticks locked in on the YM. Let's look at the YM and see if it actually gave us a signal. The S is giving a signal here too. But the S, did it go 4 ticks into profit? From 80 1/4 down to 79.50. It didn't. So you could still jump in on it right here. If you wanted to. Sorry about that. Let me just go see if the YM actually gave a trade right there. YM, and it would be a 19 range on the YM that would have been trading. No, the YM didn't give you the trade right there. I was just curious. Thanks guys for squaring me up with that. I normally, when I start these meetings, I normally get rid of the extra DOMs that I have from the morning session. But I had not done that yet. That's why that threw me off. It was in the wrong place. All right. Thank you, though. Yeah, odd is it 5,200? Yeah, that would be an odd thing, wouldn't it? All right. Well, the yes now. I put the trade on now, so here it goes. Okay, it hasn't bumped the stop yet. It's got to go 4 ticks into profit to bump the stop. It's going to try to get down to this level right here, I think. There's a lot of liquidity in it right now, a lot more than normal. Okay, so the stop did just go to break even. I'm just going to lock in one little tick on that. We should go through all this and get down to all this. You see all this liquidity it's got right here? It should go through all that right there right now. And that's good. You know, we want to see that. The NQ, sadly, the one NQ trade we did do over here, we ended up not getting our stop to break even. Missed it by 1 tick. Oh, break even plus 10. So we stopped out on that one. But we'll see what happens with the CS. All right. Oops. Let me go get my DOM back on top. I had put the wrong one before. Always on top. Let me go do this one again. That is ES. Here it is. See that one always on top. There you go. The ES DOM today has been elusive for me. For some reason, it really wants to go through all this stuff right here. I'm going to give it a chance. At least down here to 78, 75. There we go. Just going to lock in 4 ticks on that. We could get another shot here. Okay, so we're out with 4 on the ES. We could get another shot here on the NQ on the long side this time. Okay, you see how it's coming together right here? A down close on this should stick the synthetic divergence in the oversold. If it keeps both volumes above 0, then we'll go long. Okay. So if you see the white line and it goes out of the channel, yes, that's right. NQ's not giving you. No, I know. Well, it's been. I'll show you something in a minute, Mark. Where's the volume setting for the range trigger? It's not in the range trigger, Mark. There's no volume setting in the range trigger. It's inside the TVT vol. Okay, the range trigger. The only thing you set in the range trigger. Again, you can go out and copy this if you want. But the only thing you're going to set in the range trigger is going to be the synthetic divergence. Okay, see the volume went with it right here as it went out of the oversold. Volume went with it, so you're not going to have a trade right there. You see how it split the volume? The longer term volume still above 0 and the short term volume just went below 0. So we'll see what happens here. And the S is still going down a little bit more. So we did get that one nice trade there on the S. Let's put a little arrow on that guy. Okay, and we'll put an arrow on the one that stopped us out earlier. I think it was this one. This one right here. Oops. That one right there is the one that stopped us out earlier. Okay. Could I show my inputs on the 2 volume indicators on the NQ again? Yes, of course. Okay. Mark. Okay. On the NQ. Well, right now it's at 828, right? So the red and black, the red and blue one, I have set to chart. Okay, I just have that set to chart. I have this checked, but it doesn't really matter. It's just showing this, okay, on top of the other one. It helps the display a little clearer. So on the other one, because this is 8 minutes, I should actually bump this. It shouldn't be 5 minutes anymore. It should be more than 8 minutes, so probably 10 minutes on the black. Okay. The markets have been really weird this week. I was going to show you that. Oh, I will show you in just a sec. See, now they're both below 0 right now. So if we get an up close, it takes 2 up closes. So if we get 2 up closes and it manages to keep the volume below 0, then we'll have a short trade coming up here on the NQ. But that's what we got to wait for to see if that happens. Okay. So the thing that I want to show you, here, I'll just show it to you here. Let's make this an ES chart and put it on a daily. These right here are daily bars. You see that? So for the past week, the daily bars have been going nowhere. They're like a third of the normal range. The average true range right now, going back 14 bars, is 100, roughly 100 points, 90 to 100 points. And these guys right here are all about 30, 35 points a day. So the market's all coiled up for something here. And I don't know whether it's going to go up significantly or down significantly. The chart suggests it's going to go down. It'll do something like this and then go sideways for a little while and then make it back up. That's what the charts suggest. But we'll just have to wait and see what actually does happen. Now you see when this goes in pulls, whatever the symbol is, it checks to see if there's earnings today or tomorrow. Well, after the close today or before they open tomorrow is what it checks for. Okay. The yes has a trade. Thank you. Well, it didn't have a trade right there. You want it to be crossing out of the channel, Ronnie. You want to be crossing out of the channel while these two volumes are opposite. So that's not a trade right there. Okay, and you see these aren't opposite. The white's in the middle of it. And in this here, the white's in the middle of that too. Actually, I took the white off on that, it looks like. Let me put the white back on there. Hang on. When did I take that off? I don't remember taking that off. Okay, we'll make that a 0. Let's see, okay. There. So you can see the black and the blue right there on opposite sides. So we just gotta wait a minute. We'll see. We'll see how it comes together. But this is a much simpler thing to see and do, I think. And it works really well. You know, Jim C, I don't know if you're in here. I don't know. I don't think this works as well as all the things that you had with all the conditions that you were putting on it. Yeah, let me just get rid of all this stuff because I just redid it down below. I don't need to keep all that there. Okay. So we wait. You are here. Good. So you know what you were doing, Jim, when you had that guy on there, and you had those on there. That was a lot to get people to actually keep track of and do. I mean, I know you can do it because you did it a little bit at a time. You added those things on your own a little bit at a time. But just start out there is tough. So right now, the volume is mixed. Okay, the long and short-term volume is mixed. Now we're down to 3 minutes, so I can bump that to 5 minutes. No, it's okay. So we'll wait. We'll wait and see what happens. We could have a trade coming up here now. If we get a down close on this, I think we will have a trade opportunity on the long side. I think. On the NQ. Okay. TVT volume shows up in separate panes in the range trigger. You have to go like this, Mark. Click on these 3 little dots right here and do move to. Do move to existing pane above or existing pane below. Okay. That's how you move them around. All right, so both of these are set up for potentially long trades right now. This is going to have 2 down closes, and that might mess up the volume. This is going to have, I think, just 1 down close on this one. And as long as the volume stays above 0, all the volume stays above 0, we'll have a long trade on 1 down close. Okay. Okay, it didn't quite make it outside the channel on the down close there, so that didn't turn into anything there on the NQ, sadly. The majority of these trades are going to come at the end of the session, so we'll take what we can right now between here and when we do all the option stuff. So you want black and blue to be on the same side to go along, right? You want it to be opposite where the synthetic divergence is. Yeah, long-term in addition to short-term volume. Jim, I was thinking the other night, when I go back and I look at the stuff that I'm doing, and I hate when I get to the point where I simplified it to where it's complicated, and and I'm the only one who knows what's going on, and I hate it when I get that way, but I seem to do it all the time. Also, you see how these are all on different ranges over here? You can pin them all to the same scale. Like that's pinned to scale A. This one you can pin to scale A. That's on Z right now, so that's the one on the other side. You can pin that to scale A. And then this one over here is the trigger. Now, they're all working off basically the same scale, except the trigger scale is a little bit bigger, I think. But you can pin that to scale A as well if you want to. Like that. And then they're all pinned to the same scale. Okay. I'll do that again for this side. Right? You want them all pinned to scale A. Click on the 3 dots and pin to scale A. And what that does is it gets rid of the extra things here. Okay, if they are all on the same scale, then that's not going to affect anything. It's not going to have a negative effect. It'll have an overall net positive effect. Okay. I'll save it again for you. So we have to wait a few minutes here. The markets have been really, really slow today. I mean, I know right now we're minus 36 on the NQ and plus 4 on the S. The trades will come at the end of the session more than right now. But the markets have just been crawling today. This morning at the open, the first half an hour is usually the most active time of the day. And then the last 15 minutes or so are pretty active. But everything in between this past week has just been horrible. Hey, and I got my medication last week. So I can now take my little pill every day for 90 days. Like I say, so far I haven't felt the reflux stuff, so far it's worked. And if we get a down close on this and the volume stays above 0, then we'll be able to go long on the NQ. Okay, it's going to take 2 trades over here on the ES. 2 bars, minimum of 2 bars on the ES. All right, we didn't get it on the NQ. It didn't make it out of the channel. So we wait. Now, I'm just curious if we throw that on the YM. Did it have any trades in the same time frame? It's not looking like it here, is it? It's not showing the white line, so you can't really tell as well. But yeah, I think it had some pretty decent trades in there without adjusting the times and all that. All right. You think if I move the trigger study to front, the synthetic divergence line will not be covered. How do I move it to the front? Oh, here, move to existing pane above. No, that's not a visibility order. Bring to front. There you go. You are a genius, Larry. Visibility order, bring to front. There you go. Now you can see that just fine. Genius, Larry. Takes a village. All right, let me save it again. Yes, Jackie, it works on stocks and futures. Let's just throw one on here since we don't have any trades here right now. Let's go. I mean, have you guys been seeing the stuff that I've been doing where I'm just going from A to Z, showing showing the trade setups from A to Z? Okay. The trade setup that I'm showing you from A to Z it's not this. It's a different one. I'll show you in a minute. But you see, Jackie, you see this right here? B1 right there. Now the time frames, the black and all that, I don't have these times set properly to be getting the black on the right side or anything on the right side because this is a 6-hour chart. So the volumes would have to be, they have to be in hours here. A 6-hour chart, they probably both have to be on. If that's the black one, was that the black one? Yeah, it was. The black one would have to be on 7-hour, and this one would have to be, well, it's just on chart. Okay, so that'd be okay. So this is kind of what you'd be looking at, right? Something like this. Right here, you'd sell the open of that bar. Right here, you'd buy the open of that bar. Right here, you'd sell the open of that bar. That one, the volume went with it. Right here, actually, that didn't actually make it out of the oversold. This one did. You'd buy the open of that bar. That didn't work out. This one right here, you'd sell the open of that bar. It went down a little bit, but not much. Right here, you'd buy the open of that bar. Right here, you'd sell the open of that bar. And that's just that one. If you just go through the alphabet, and we'll go to Barrick Mining. Let's find something on New York Stock Exchange. Bloom Energy. Okay. Just random going through them here right there. You'd sell the open of that bar. You'd sell the open of that bar. Back here, you would have bought the open of that bar. You would have, and this is on a 6-hour chart. Okay. You don't have to use the 6-hour, no. You trade on a 2, 5, 15 minute. Yeah, let's look at that. And you trade SPY. Let's just look at the SPY. Okay, you guys keep track of the other thing and let me know if there's a you got to change the volume now because it's on a 15-minute SPY. So you want this to be, we'll just say 30-minute. Okay, and the other one will be the chart. And this is the SPY. We won't do it on a 6-hour. Let's put it on a 15-minute. Okay, there we go. Okay, same stuff. Just changing the symbol. You'd sell the open of that bar. And right here, you would have sold the open of that bar. It didn't really go anywhere. Back here, you would have sold the open of that bar. It eventually went down, but it took a little while. In here, you would have sold the open of that bar. That went down quite a bit before it came back up. Right here, you would have bought the open of that bar. Right here, you would have bought the open of that bar. Right here, you would have sold the open of that bar. Is this all today? Just go back a couple of days now. Oh, that goes back to last week. Okay, but you see, it's all the same stuff. Right? You see what I mean? Is this scalping or momentum? Well, the smaller time frame stuff is more, I mean, this is scalping too. And you're going with the volume. So you're running with the volume. So it is kind of going with the momentum of the market because you're going where the volume is. Well, Ronnie, in this case right here, if you were doing it on a time frame like this, a 15-minute or something like that, you can see the countdown right here. If you were to do it on a 5-minute, what Ronnie said with the range bars, Ronnie said he's having a hard time because he's missing. I know Ronnie's got a million things going on all at once, so I know that that's an issue for him. But with the range bars, they happen really quick, and you don't know when the bar is going to close. You just where it's going to close, but you don't know when it's going to close. But if you go to something like this, like a 5-minute, we'll throw this on an 8-minute. So now you can see when the bar is going to close, Ronnie. Over here, you can see when it's going to close. So right now, if this bar closes down, and right now the volume stays the way it is, you know in 2 minutes and 20 seconds is when you're going to be focused. Okay. So this is, I'm going through this right now for Jackie because Jackie wanted to know. Jackie works on the 2, 5, and 15-minute chart, and this is on the 5-minute chart, but I showed you the 15 a minute ago, and the 2 is going to be the same thing. The difference is what you're going to do with the black down here. Okay. The black volume, this one right here, it's got to be a little bit bigger than whatever time frame you're on. Okay. Well, it's got to be a little bit bigger than whatever this shows. This shows for the last 3 bars. It's going to be a little bit bigger than that number. Okay, so it's going to be obviously going to be bigger than the time frame you're on, but it's going to be bigger than whatever that number is what it should be. Okay. And this number is going to change as you get closer to the end of the day. It's going to take longer for each bar, but but not on time-based ones. On time-based ones, it's always going to be the same, but for range bars, it's not. On time-based ones, if this is a 5-minute bar, you could change this bottom one to be a 15-minute, which is what it is. That's what it takes for 3 bars. You could change it to be a 10-minute, so you'd only have 2 bars worth of volume flow that you'd be showing from a larger time frame. But let me just go over that again because that might have been confusing for you. Since we took it off for range bars, right, and we switched to minute bars, so the regular chart one is this. All right, this is the regular volume from a 5-minute chart. And right now, this works pretty well when you have the synthetic divergence going against the regular volume on a 5-minute chart, right? It works pretty well. You're going to have a lot more of those than you would if you were waiting for the longer term volume to be with it. So what we want to do, so when you get into choppy situations like all this right here, to filter out some of the false signals, you go with the larger time frame as well. So you have the larger time frame volume. Now, if you just have the larger time frame volume, you can see all through here, it's only suggesting shorts. All through here, it's only suggesting shorts. And all through here, it's almost suggesting nothing. And right in here, it's only suggesting longs. Okay, if you just go with the larger time frame, when the larger time frame is above 0 and where synthetic divergence is crossing onto the channel below 0, you're thinking long. Okay. Now, if you add to that the current volume, so the current volume and the longer time frame volume is bearish. It's below 0 and bearish. And you happen to have a pullback against that volume, against both of those long-term volumes. It's like an anomaly in price. And you have a chance to jump in. While all the volume is flowing one way, you have a chance to jump in and get in with that volume. That's what I'm showing here. Okay, that's what it's showing here. And so, Ronnie, to your issue about not having time, if you put it on a time-based bar like this, the larger one, the longer volume, it's going to be some volume greater than the time-based bar that you're on. If you're on a 5-minute, you can make it a 10-minute, you can make it a 6-minute, you can make it whatever you want. If when you come in here to this thing, into the volume thing, and you don't see the one that you want in here, it's because you don't have it created yet. Okay, like I don't have a 7-minute in there, right? But if I want it to be on a 7-minute, then I have to go here and do add custom interval and do a 7-minute. Okay, if I add it there, then it gets picked up by the volume indicator down here, and I now have a 7-minute. You see what I mean? I know for you guys that are not technical people, that's probably a lot of stuff really fast, but this is all being recorded, so you can go back and watch it. But does it all make sense? See, there's 3 minutes and 15 seconds left in this bar. That's where it all started, Ronnie. IT. It's State Street Bank, right in your stomping grounds. It's actually Hancock. It was the first place I worked at in Boston. In Connecticut, it was Computer Science Corporation, but well, that's why the options trading, Jackie, the options trading, I use a 6-hour. So there's only 2 times a day you care, 9:30 and 3:30. Okay. Mark, I don't suggest that for the scalping stuff that we do, but Jackie had just asked me to show him. He does 2-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute bars. So I was just showing him that it worked on those as well. Okay, I'm going to put this back down to with 39 range. And then I'm going to have to change these because right now it's 12 minutes and 44 seconds for the long one. So this is going to be bigger than that. Let's say 15 minutes. And this is chart. So while I was doing that, we missed a trade there. And that was really the only one. I don't really like doing it like this. We missed this trade right here. Okay. And the S had a long trade. That didn't work out all that well. Okay. Mark, I was responding to a question from another person. That's why I went to the minute stuff. And it actually worked out for Ronnie too, to show that to Ronnie. So he can solve his thing about not being able to time the close of the bars and all that, being too fast. Okay. All right, I'm trying to make it simpler, Mark. I'm not trying to complicate. I'm trying to make it simpler. All right, in 12 minutes, all the option stuff comes out. So we're gonna have to nail all that down, and then we'll get some more trades off in here, hopefully. You know, these sessions go by so fast. An hour and a half in these sessions, it just flies by. In the morning sessions, they just, some days they go by really fast, but the last couple of days, and I've been so screwed up the last couple of days too. I ended up late for 2 of them. Late to open up once and late for the afternoon session once. I've been all off this week. And so right now, well, we're just waiting. But Mark, you understood why I went to the minute bars, right? I was just responding to Jackie, because Jackie wanted to know if it worked on 2-minute, 5-minute, 15-minute, all the same stuff, and it does. It does. Now, I'm not going to go through and show the other stuff that actually triggers the options, because that would really throw you guys right now. Right, that's going in the it's on here. If you go to Target View Trades, I think it's in here somewhere. Yeah, this one right here. Wow, that is really messed up looking. I didn't notice that it was so messed up looking. Click on good. There, that's better. In here, I'm going through from A to Z. I am going through the symbols, just applying the setup that triggers the options at night. Okay, not looking. Trading is easier. Remain private. I don't know who you are. But trading is easier. I'm making it easier. I'm making it easier. All you're looking for is for that to come out of the channel when those are below 0, or the other way around, for it to, this is going to be on here, right here, for it to come out of the channel when those are above 0. You buy the open of the next bar, or you sell the open of the next bar. That's all you're looking for. It's not confusing. It might be in the beginning, just a little bit. But once you understand it, it jumps off the charts at you. You should have seen it last week. I'm always trying to make it easier and better, all right? I create all this stuff, so I'm always going to try to make it easier and better. You know, I used to have stuff all over the charts too, lines on the charts, and you can still put all that on. they're all there. They're all available to you. All that stuff is available to all of you. See right here, the black. Flip down below. So if the black and blue are both above, we'd go long right here. But because they're not, I'm not going to. Arrows, yeah, Jessica likes her arrows. Well, I can put arrows on. I think that's something that I could put on with this stuff. I'd have to put what I'd have to do to. No, I don't know. I could do that. No, I can't do that because I'm looking at too many different time frames and stuff. There might be a way to do it, but it'd be really hard. Complicated thing that everybody would have to set up properly on their own desktop. And what that would mean is I have to set it up on everybody's desktop. And I don't really want to do that. I just had a nice 18 tick on gold right now. I haven't traded gold in a little while. Gold or crude oil. I haven't traded either one of those in a while. And it's 3:23. So in 7 minutes, we're going to get into all this stuff. The FOMC, the 0DTE, oh, the daily thing. I didn't show you that one. Let's go to look at daily. Okay, so the daily, this is one of the things that was on my agenda. The daily is a separate set of symbols. They're not gap symbols, all right? Like all the other symbols, the other 85 symbols that we pull from, those are symbols that gap frequently and usually large from the close to the open. That's what we're looking at for the options on those. So, Jackie, when I get into this in a minute, the symbols that we're looking at there, they are to play the gap from the close to the open, right? That's option stuff. We play the gap from the close to the open, not day trading options. All right, it's overnight trading options. This stuff here that I'm working on, there's only one thing showing up right now, stack, but it's too late in the day for this to matter anyway. This is the kind of thing you would run at 9:30 in the morning, and you'd have however many fill in here out of the list of symbols that I have. And the list of symbols is comprised of the symbols that have the most price. I don't want to say volatility because that just means it moves around a lot. But the biggest difference, typically, like on a daily basis, have the largest change from open to close. All right, the top 18 symbols that regularly have the largest change between the open and the close of the day. So you would buy it at the open, you would buy it or sell it or do whatever you're going to do with the option at the beginning of the day, and then you would bail out of it by the end of the day. Okay, so it'd be really 0DT options. But you could do it on Fridays. For most of these, it would be 0DT. On things that expire Monday, Wednesday, Friday, you could do it on Monday, Wednesday, Friday. They'd be 0DT. On things that expire daily, like the SPY and the QQQ, and the IWM, you could do those as 0DT. But they don't always show up. I don't even think they're in the list. The ones in the list, some of my favorites are in the list, like SOXL and SOXS. Those are some of my favorites that are in the list. But they got to show up. And if they don't show up, then it's not a signal. That's the daily stuff that I had. You guys might recall in here on this thing, my little agenda, I had a potential new group daily. I'm still working on it, okay? But that's what the idea is. You'd open that up first thing in the morning, and if it came up with a group of symbols, and it usually does, every day it comes up with a group of symbols, and you would want to trade those. Now you see this is a 1 hour, a 3 hour, and a 4 hour. If they happen to come up on more than one at the same time, then that's when you really want to get on. Because it's at the point where it's going to react on more than one time frame. All right, now the 4 hour just happens, the bars on the 4 hour, they happen at 9:30 and 1:30. The bars on the 3 hour, well, they happen at 9:30, 12:30, and 3:30. And the hourly obviously happens on the hourly. So, at the beginning of the day at 9:30, If they all line up, that's great. If 2 out of 3 line up, that's good. If you have just one that lines up at 9:30 in the morning, well, I mean, it's still good. It's still going to probably move from the beginning of the day to the end of the day. But remember, what you're looking at is a reversal signal. Let me show you. I put the range trigger on like this. Which one did I put that on? This one right here. Okay. So what you're looking at in here, what the option is looking at is a reversal signal. Okay. Now this is just one of the reversal signals, but it would be looking for something like this right here. If this were to happen at 9:30 in the morning on more than one time frame, there's a really good chance that it's going to react and it's going to reverse right now. Okay, during that 9:30 bar. Okay, right now they're all at 3:30. On this one right here is at 3:30. So that says, at 3:30, this is what we'll be doing here in just a minute, in 2 minutes. At 3:30, when it does react to this kind of a signal, we'll be either buying calls or puts, depending on what direction it's going in. But you don't have to know about this part. Remain private. You don't have to know about this part of it because it's all done for you. But I just wanted to show you what it is actually doing. That's one of the things that it's doing. Okay. So now when it gets here in, what do we have? A full minute left. So when the full minute is up, we'll do groups 1 and 2. Okay, and then I'll have to give that to my minions. My minions will have to calculate everything. And what it will do, once it comes up with these groups, whatever they are right now, they're going to be much more in a minute. They'll be much bigger when the 6-hour candle closes. These groups are going to be much bigger. But then what it'll do is it'll go out to like this right here. It would go out to Schwab and look at coin, the puts on coin, and would find the put on coin that's close, that's got a delta. That's just right. That's closest to 0.50, negative 0.50, without going over. Okay. And it would give you that strike price, that expiration date. The expiration date today is going to be 8/14 for all of these. Right, it's going to be Friday's expiration date for all of these when the options come up. All right, that's coming up here in just a minute. You'll see right there, 3:30. So it wasn't a big deal today. We don't have a ton of them today. Okay, so let me just grab these and I'll give them to my minion, and have my minion go and calculate the appropriate things. All right, now I'll do groups 3 and 4. Do groups 3 and 4 and see what comes up on those. And now if my minion, hold on, let me undo the always on top on those two things and say, can you calculate group picks 1 to 4? Group 1 to 4 picks is what I mean. 1 to 4 for these 4. 8/14 expiration. Okay, so the first group had just a few of them, and the second group, these right here, it's got TSLL, Tesla, Dow, ACN, Into, TXN, Shop. It's got a good group in here. Okay, so I'll give that to my minion and have them, and I'm gonna do the FOMC ones too because they're the same expiration. Okay. And so the FOMC, all right, the FOMC has a group here too. Okay, let me just give it all to my minions here. All right, we'll get them working. So it's 3:32. That'll take them a couple of minutes. And now let's check the 0DTE stuff and see what we got with that one. The 0DTE signals. Nothing. All right, so I will tell it there are no 0DTE signals. Okay, so we'll let my minions pull all that stuff together, and then we'll give it to you guys. All right. So for those of you guys who don't know what's going on right now, what we are doing is we're going to get the picks for tomorrow. Hang on, let me put the NQ back on top here. Okay, and the yes, I guess I can put that one back on top too. We're going to get the picks for tomorrow, and what that looks like once we get them, if you've never seen it before, in the Telegram channel. Hang on. Where is it? Here it is. This is what it looks like in the Telegram channel. These were the picks, the results of the picks for yesterday. The day before yesterday. These were the results yesterday, up 190% there, up 200% there, and the 0DT was up like 3%. And this is the way the picks looked from yesterday coming into today. Now these picks yesterday coming into today are up over 100%. The FOMC picks from yesterday to today had their worst day ever. They're like almost all red. I'll put all that out there in a little while when I get it done. I haven't done it yet, but that's what it is. So right now, when I think my minions are, let me scroll down to the bottom and see if they're done. They are not done. Okay. Okay, turn those into pigs one for that, and duplicate symbols collapse before the Schwab look up. Then I'll apply the usual volume filter and render the trader-facing tables. Okay, so that's what it's doing right now. My minions are working away right now. So now we can trade a little bit if we have some. It looks like we had one here a minute ago. That would have been a nice trade. We had another one right there a minute ago. That would have been a nice trade. This period right here between now and the close is usually when we're going to get most of our trades. Okay, is when most of our trades occur. For anybody who is new in here, who's not been here before. Okay, the FOMC, when to look at the scanner to buy. When to look at, do I suggest looking at half-hour swing trade chart to decide when to dispose? You mean to get out, Mark? To bail on a trade, or when to? No, okay, thank you. Thank you. So it did not have a trade in there. Okay, and now we got to fix these times down here. That's 4 minutes, right? So the black needs to be on 5 minute. Will work. Okay, thanks, Jim. The way that I usually do it, Mark, if you're in one of the option trades and the option trade has not given you any profit by, usually I'd say, when I get into one, I set an immediate target for 100% gain. And if I get the 100% gain, I can take some off there and let some ride. If I don't at the open get 100% gain, then I just go and look at what's going on. And if it's going in the right direction, well, then I might set it to a 50% gain, because that's still a great gain to get overnight if you don't really have to do anything. And if it starts going in the wrong direction, I usually give it till about noon. And if by noon it's not making me any money, then I just get out of it and I take whatever loss I have. Okay, or profit or loss I have at noon. That's the way that I play it, Mark. Okay. They're not spread on the zero. We don't actually have the zero there anymore. Let me copy this and stick it over here on this side. Why does it not let me paste it? There it is. Paste. Put that on the zero. Okay. And let's say okay. We'll see if we can bring that to the front. Visual order. Bring to the front. There we can. Okay. This one, visual order. Bring to the front. There. So now you can tell. It doesn't actually have to be that fat if you bring it to the front like that. Make it a little thinner like that. I'll save this again for you guys. Okay, so we're looking for trades in here, and now I think the tables, let me see if the minion spit them out yet. Yes, it did. Okay, so these are the picks for the morning. All right, these are all the picks for the morning. There's puts and calls in here. These are the TVT deltas. These are the deltas from Schwab. This was the last price on all of them. So I'm going to go post this out in the Telegram channel right now. All right, so in here, I would just say picks for 8/13 with 8/14 expiration. Control V, send them. And now the next picks are going to be the FOMC picks right here. Copy that image. And I'll stick this out here. FOMC Group picks for 8/13 with 8/14 expiration. Okay, those are the picks for tomorrow. All right. So you guys have them all out there. They're in the Telegram channel. You can go grab them in the Telegram channel. For those of you guys who are in here for the very first time, if you're in here on the trial, this is the overnight. Is the FOMC different? The FOMC you can do overnight as well, Mark. You can do it just like it if you want. Sometimes there's going to be some overlap in between here and here. The FOMC group started out as something that worked just well on FOMC days. You know, I pick things that were really reactive to the FOMC decision. But it turns out that that subgroup is really good for trading, day trading during the day. So, you know, in the morning, if you grab something in here and in the morning it's not good, by the afternoon usually it gets better. Okay. Or you could just wait till the morning and trade these in the morning. Now you got the right symbol. You might have to go and get your own delta. Make sure you got the right delta and got the right strike price. But that's all that stuff. Crap. Hang on there. I just almost lost it. All right. So those are the signals for tomorrow. Now let's see if we can get some more trades off in here right now. We really don't have anything right now. So we'll see if we can get some more off. We're negative right now on the day, and I only have one negative day out of all the days that we've had so far. I only have one negative day. So I really don't want to end negative. I want to get some more trades off in here. Come out here. Somebody just messaged me. It sounded like, yeah, that's not anything I'm going to pay attention to. Six seconds.
Do you want to make this night?
Yeah, let me delete that. Delete chat. Okay, that's garbage. All right. All right, so the FOMC group. Trying to think. I don't know. I don't remember off the top of my head exactly what's in it, but it started just on FOMC day. I would use the difference in how you treat the FOMC and overnight option picks. You treat them the same. You treat them the same. I mean, you can run the FOMC in the morning. You can run all of them in the morning and at 9:30 if you want. You can trade them if you want to. Look, let me show you, Mark. Hang on. Let me show you. I think I stuck it out here in the Telegram channel. Here it is. Hang on. Here. So if I go back here a little ways, okay. TV-Trades options. Here, this is where I started doing it. The FOMC results were discussed last night into today. The 3 different timestamps below. So at 9:40, this was last week on Wednesday. Thursday morning, I gave the signals out. Wednesday night, the FOMC group were right here. And in the meeting last Wednesday, I gave these out, right? And then the next morning, at 9:30 in the morning, they hadn't made any profit yet. But then I checked them again at 12:40. And they'd gone up to 64%, and then again at 3 o'clock they had gone up to 64.2%. and the regular signals had gone up 522.7%. So I give you the FOMC stuff with all the other stuff at night, and you can trade it just like all the other stuff if you want to. Okay, or you can wait until 9:30 in the morning and get in there and trade it at 9:30 in the morning. You have to go figure out. Which strike price you're going to use, but you'll have the calls and puts in the right direction and all that stuff. Right? But you can do this just like you would do the regular picks. Okay, it's a subset, and and it's actually got some that are not in the regular ones. But what I want to do is just go get the picks, go get the symbols. When I created the FOMC group, I wanted to get the symbols that react the most to the FOMC rate decision. Okay, the ones that have the biggest reaction to the FOMC rate decision. And it turns out they move around quite a bit during the day, every day. All right. So like right now, well, I want to keep track of this because we got to trade some more in here. Crap. We got to get in there and trade some more. Yeah, I missed this. This would have been a long trade right here. I don't think we would have gotten us anything. So right now we're looking at 2 minutes. And on this one, we're looking at 8 minutes. Not that one, this one. Yeah, that's okay. All right, so I'm going to look for more setups in here because I got to get positive on this session. Usually the last 15 minutes, starting right now to the end, is usually pretty quick. That's what I was saying, Mark. Do overnight picks? No, I usually try to get out of them by noon. That's exactly what I was saying. I like to get out of them right at the open. If I can get 100% or even something close to 100% right at the open, then I'll just get out of them and I'll take some profit. Okay. But if the market seems to be really on a tear, if it's already hit my 100%, then I get the 100%, and if I got anything else running, then I would have to keep track of it then. Okay. So I haven't said this yet. If you haven't taken a trial with us, go here to TV-Trades.ai. Go to TV-Trades.ai and just hit free trial. All right. I always forget to say this. Hit the free trial. It's only $25 a week or $90 a month, $9.97 a year. $9.97 a year is the cheapest way to go. If you are not on the annual right now and you want to go to the annual today, if you want to switch to the annual today and you're in a monthly or a weekly already, I'll give you an extra $100 a year off on that. If you switch today, it'll be an extra $100 a year off on that if you switch today. Okay. If you don't switch today, well, maybe some other time. Again, that was from TV-Trades.ai, TV-Trades.ai. I always forget to say that stuff. All right, so these things we've all taken care of. We're taking care of all those, so I don't really need to look at those anymore. We just need to focus in here. We almost have trades on both of these. We almost have long trades on both of these. A down close on both of these, as long as the volume stays on the right side of zero. A down close on either one of these should be a long trade. Okay. As long as volume stays on the right side of zero. And we have 14 minutes left. Man, where does the time go? All right. Has anybody asked any questions that I haven't answered yet? I want to make sure I answer everybody's questions. Okay. If you ask a question like I just saw Sharon down there, I thought, could I show a few more examples, please? Okay, so I think I've done that, right, Sharon? I hadn't seen your question earlier. I just scanned down and I saw your name down there. All right. So all this is good so far. We just need down closes on these bars and we'll be good to go. Right? Do I have a time frame for the daily list? It's going to be the 9:30 in the morning is when you'd be looking at it, Sharon. Okay, so if you wanted to do that, you can look at that in different ways, and I'll get into that more probably next week. If I have time between now and next week to really look at it, I'll get into it more with you next week. I thought I was going to have time to do everything that I want to. I always think I'm going to have time to do everything that I want to, but it never works out that way. So I showed you the new earnings thing, but nothing had earnings of the ones that came up today. Potential new group, we talked about that. The volume analysis, we talked about that. We traded that. The synthetic divergence. I tried to show you the simpler way of using the synthetic divergence today. The FOMC Group, the success review, it's been doing great until today. Today was all red. There was only one that was up today. But hopefully it'll be better tomorrow. I'm sure it'll be better tomorrow. It can't be much worse than today. But up until today, it was like over 100% every time until today. But I haven't gone out to get all the tables done and all that stuff yet. I wanted to make sure I had all this stuff going for you guys. Okay, in my agenda. You're watching one of these videos and reviewing. It looks like we can only make an option list during market hours. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Jeff. Do you buy FOMC day before or next morning? Treat it the same way you do everything else, Mark. The day before. Okay, you can buy it the next morning if you want to, but treat it the same way you do everything else. The day before, like right now, between now and 4 o'clock. Okay, look, I'm gonna go out there and buy some myself right now. Right, let me go and see what I put out there. Now on Wednesdays, I don't really have time to get into a whole bunch of it because I'm doing everything else. But now I gotta scroll all the way down to the bottom. Crap. Okay, I just hit that big arrow. That goes right down to the bottom. All right, so the things that are set for a call tomorrow, all the FOMCs are set for a call tomorrow. I'm just looking across all the options right here. Right. All right. Not a trade, not a trade, almost a trade. It didn't come from up here. It did go out while the volume was still bullish, but it's already moved up a little bit. That didn't come out of the didn't come out of the channel right there. It came out of the channel here. That's not exactly the same as coming out of the channel from here going out of the channel. Now I'd be looking for something like that to that. I know I'm being really picky. I could just jump on these both since we're running out of time. I should probably just jump on them both since we're running out of time. They have both already moved into profit quite a bit, though. That one already moved in quite a bit, and that one already moved in quite a bit. So I'll just leave them alone. That's what I should do. I'm gonna go buy some options right now. Hang on. Let me bring that up and log into that account. Where the heck is it? Here it is. Secretary account, the youngest person to hold the role. Oh, that stinks. Caroline Livitz quitting at the end of the month. All right, so we don't have a trade here. We don't have a trade here yet. Okay, they're both starting to move up a little bit. I don't know if they're going to turn into trades here. We only have 8 minutes left. Crap. Let me just look at these. The ES is right here. The NQ is right there. Let me slide those over a little bit. I want to make sure I'm answering all your questions. Yeah, I know Sharon. She's going to be hard to replace. There was one I was just looking at. There it is right there. Okay. Section. Do that, that, and come in here and see that. Show full quote. Let me just make sure I get that correct. Okay. Move that out of the way. That out of the way, and see if we can trade a little bit more in here. NQ in my ES. And here. All right, so I wasn't looking at it there just a second ago, but it looks like it gave a trade here that moved up, a trade here that went down quite a bit, moved up a little bit, and this is kind of mixed up right here. It gave a huge gap down trade right here that the open of that bar would have been the place to buy. So it went a little bit into profit from there. But right now, let's just focus on what we have going on here. Okay, I want to get a couple of trades off here if I can. And now that I bought my options that I wanted to buy. Sorry, it took me a second. How to avoid the chop on the NQ at 3:30. At 3:30. Not sure. At 3:30. Well, this wasn't really chop. It was trending down. So you would have had one trade right there on that one, and one trade right here on that one. Okay. And now we are really running out of time. Hang on. Okay. Okay, I just jumped on the NQ here because we're running out of time. And actually, I don't know what it gave me. I'm in and out of it though. I bumped my stop already. It gave me 2 ticks out of 10, so it slipped me 8 ticks. Give me 2 ticks out of 10, I can show you. Bought there, sold there. 2 ticks out of 10. But it's something. Hopefully we're going to have enough time in here. I mean, the markets don't close. The markets don't close at 4 o'clock, but I like to end the webinar at 4 o'clock. Let me put this on the EU contract like that. Okay. All right. Did I answer everybody's questions so far? Mark, the FOMC stuff treated just like the other ones. All right, the other ones you can buy in the morning too. The difference with the FOMC was when I created that group originally, it was to be able to trade it on FOMC day, day trade it on FOMC day. Okay, when I originally created that group. That was the difference. You see how the volume is split right here on the S, so we're not likely to get a trade here on the S, but we could still have something else happen here on the NQ right now. And right now, we'd have a red day right now. We'd be a down day right now because we're minus 34 on the NQ and plus 4 on the S after just 3 trades. So hopefully we're going to get something big here on the NQ, get us back to positive. And it could happen. It could definitely happen here in just a minute. In the way that these things are designed, even if you get chop, Sharon, like when we had some chop earlier, when we had some chop in here, it kept you on the right side of it the whole time. Right? We got a little choppy in here, it kept you on the right side of it. I really gotta watch this. And the volume just split again here. Speaking of split again there. Yeah, the black's above and the red's below. So I may have to trade a little bit after 4 o'clock. Okay, since we started a few minutes late anyway. So right now, if we got something that came out of the channel right now on a down close, we'd have a long trade here on the NQ. Okay, all the volume is above 0. So we need a down close on this and possibly on the bar after it. Same thing over here on the ES. There we go. Okay, so I just got part of that NQ trade right there. And it looks like I got 10 ticks out of it. I can show you that in a second. So that brings us a little closer. Okay, I'll show you that in a sec. Hang on. Oops, that's not what I meant to do. This is what I meant to do. This right here, and I was going to show you that NQ trade. We just picked up 10 ticks. Here it is right here. Oops, sorry, I'll leave it over there. There, see it? Okay, now I'm in the S trade here right now too, and that's starting to make some real money. So let's get that up to there. All right, that was 16 ticks. That's gonna bring us to positive. Okay, I think that was 16 ticks, was it? Oh no, it was 12 ticks. Sorry, 12 ticks. Brings us up to 16. Okay, that'll make us positive on the session. But that was the ES trade from right here. Okay, and I can show you that one too. Just so you know, I'm not just making this stuff up. There you go, it was 3 points, so 12 ticks. All right. Now, this was actually a trade right here on the short side I missed. I wasn't paying any attention to that. Okay. That's kind of working out right now. And it's 4:02, so I could just quit right now, I think. Matter of fact, I think I will just stop right now. All right, let me fill out the Wednesday total sheet because I almost always forget to do this too. All right, so today we'll add one more day down here at the bottom. All right, today's day number is 65, and it is 8/12. We didn't have a ton of trades today. We did have that one stop out though On the NQ, we're going to end with minus 24 ticks. Minus 24 ticks. On the ES, we're going to end with plus 16. So that is a total of, with 10 contracts on, plus $800. We took a total of 5 trades with 1 stop out today. So that gives us 80%, I believe, break even or better. And now, if you total all this stuff down, this becomes a 65, right? So 65. So in all of these sessions that we've done so far, the 65 sessions, we're up $272,100 in the 65 sessions, averaging $4,186 per session. Obviously, we did not get that the last couple of sessions, but the one before that, we got $11,200. We just haven't had the trades. The last couple of sessions, we just haven't had the trades in there to do it. All right, so if you have not taken a free trial, go here to TV-Trades.ai, TV-Trades.ai, sign up for the free trial there. Okay, the free trial there. It's up here. Go to start free trial. Let's go to the top of the page. There it is. That's not the top. That's not the top of the page either, but just go to TV-Trades.ai, and it's $25 a week, $90 a month, or $9.97 a year. Again, that annual deal, if you're on one of these and you want to get the annual deal, just send me an email at support@targetviewtrades.com and then put annual deal in the subject line. All right. That's how you take the free trial. That's where we are on the day. We're up $800 in this session. We really didn't have a lot of trades. We only had 5 trades. And if we go look at them right now, see if we had any more. There's one right here, a short right here on the NQ. From right here, as we would have been shorting on the NQ. Okay, so that's already worked out some. So I just want to make sure you guys all get this, right? When it's all below 0, you want that to come out of the channel above, and then you sell it. When it's all above 0, you want that to come out of the channel below, and then you buy it. It's as simple as that. All right? That's a really simple process. I'll save this again for you right now, and I will give you guys this layout. If you are a subscriber, when you load this layout, it will have everything all set for you. You just have to make a copy. Okay, I just stuck it out there. You'll just have to make a copy of it. Okay. Let me stop the recording here. All right. Thank you everybody for coming, and I'm just going to stop the recording. Again, go to TV-Trades.ai to sign up for the free trial.